her own confetti. She must, I don't know how long she spent.
And I'm here today, a week later. Yay! And today we're doing a friend Q&A with my friend Allie, who you've heard so much about.
Hello.
I love her. All right. So I just thought we'd ask questions on her perspective of things. I know we talked to Ray before as my roommate and as somebody who is trans on the opposite side of the spectrum, which Allie knows Ray as well. Mm-hmm. And I guess we'll start with, how did we meet?
How did we meet? I originally knew Ray. Ray I've been friends with since like childhood and knew Ray pre-transition. Or pre that transition wasn't even a thought. So we were friends. And then I was going to school around here. I knew Ray and Emily had moved in. So I met Emily before Emily was Emily. And and I knew Emily for a while first as Ray's roommate. And and then we just gradually became better friends.
Better and better.
Better and better.
Sometimes alcohol was involved.
Yeah, as it is.
As it is with any great friendship.
And a lot of bad ones. There's a lot of bad choices.
Maybe.
A lot of great ones.
Yeah.
Totally great.
They're pretty
totally
good.
Great decisions involving alcohol.
Okay. Now, I remember I first came out to you about, I think we had known each other for about a year?
I think it was like a couple years ago. Because I remember it was like over the summer.
Yeah, but I think we had known each other for a year.
Yeah,
a full year.
not well, but not like super well.
No.
But yeah.
And so what were your first thoughts when I told you?
Well, I remember it because I was like on my deck, like on my, I was home for the summer between college, and you were messaging me, and just basically said like, you said you came out, and I was just completely shocked, like I had no idea, and I remember like I paused a lot because I was so like taken aback. I just like was so surprised that I was trying to figure out the best way to phrase it. I was like, how do I best phrase that I want to be supportive and say like, oh, it doesn't matter to me, but of course it matters because this is a big part of who you are. So I wanted to properly express it. Mm-hmm. And so I finally said something along those lines, and you're like, okay, but can you tell me what you really think? Because you paused, and it's really important to me that I know what you really think. And then I had explained like, no, it's not anything like any hesitations. It's just that I wanted to like properly express how I was feeling and not give you a heart attack, but I did.
Yeah. It happens. I mean, something's gonna give me a heart attack. I guess that's all right.
I don't. Sure, it's the preferred way to go.
So the other thing is, obviously, like then we didn't really know each other well. We kind of knew each other. Like, what was the process? Like, how did we get to know each other better?
Well, it's just that because you are roommates with Ray, and I know you said you didn't have a lot of female friends, and that you were completely out to and everything, and who lived near you. So I was going back for my senior year in college around Boston, and you wanted to like go shopping and stuff like that.
My first shopping trip.
Oh yes. You're completely terrified. Gripping onto my arm like a vice, and I just was basically like motor mouthing completely because you just like were so shy and didn't want to say anything. So I was like, it's fine. Let's just, no. Just trying to say how fine it was. It was TJ Maxx, and it went okay. You were just like, okay, yep, sure, that sounds great. And then it's just the process of that of being a female friend who knew and lived close, and that's just, I got to know you better as Emily. So it's sometimes kind of hard. You'll be like, oh, was that like, compare this to when I was, before, and it's sometimes hard for me to be like, oh yes, because
Well,
So I know you mostly.
You were the first one to ever really know me as Emily, like
No.
completely.
Well, completely. Okay.
Yeah,
All
like
right.
you were
I
the
guess
only
that's
one.
fair.
You were like the first one like who didn't know me really before, and now you only knew me now. So it's kind of like
we never had like any really deep
Yeah.
conversations or anything. But yeah, I just knew you from like being around the apartment when
Yeah.
I was here.
So from that, like you said, how we went on our first shopping trip.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from then to now, what have some things you've seen change?
Less terrifying when we go shopping. Like that was just like if there was some reason that you couldn't go dressed up, you'd be upset.
Yeah.
And now it's completely different.
Mhm.
And a lot of it is just, I mean, it kind of coincides with us just getting to know each other better, but how much
Yeah.
more comfortable you are.
Yeah.
Like that's probably the most notable of how your demeanor has changed and how you just seem bright a lot of the time.
Bright and shiny on a rainy day.
It's not raining. It's cold though.
Okay.
Yeah. So just a lot just more like comfortable and at ease with yourself. Like when you're I mean this was true when you were first dressing up too, but just like how you're like so much more like joyful.
Joyful. I'm a much joyful person. I used to not be this
joyful.
joyful.
You're happier, you know?
Yeah.
I can just tell.
People, I never used to be like this. I was not happy to begin with.
You felt very closed off when
Yeah.
you're, you know.
Yeah, I'd say that.
You know.
So, like, obviously, I know, like, since we've become better friends and really close friends, and you've been friends with Ray, and he's also trans and found out, what have you learned from having transgender friends now?
So it's interesting. Like I've always, you know, been sympathetic to the LGBT community, and I think it's just, you know, there's a difference in the theoreticals of being sympathetic to, you know, someone who's going through something like that, and then the actual like of it being like real, like knowing someone,
Having hands-on experience.
Yeah, and I think it's just a lot of like, it's kind of the similar way, a lot of ways when you ask questions, I would like trying to figure out the best way to phrase it in order to be supportive. So there's some of that, and just it's mostly like how best to support you, because I can be a supportive friend, but I also don't know what you're going through, because I've been fortunate enough to feel comfortable in my, you know, sexuality and gender and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it's trying to make sure I'm not dismissing anything, or you know, trying to be understanding when like you like a month ago or something now you were really freaked out about this haircut. Yeah. So freaked out. And it's like, it's like everyone gets bad haircuts, it's just hair, but it was like really like you're like, that's too short, I'm not gonna pat, you know, it's like a lot of that, and be like trying to like take it with an adequate seriousness, and it's just figuring out how best to support you was kind of.
No, I agree, and I think that's true, because I feel like for the parts of me where like, you know, it comes to like big transgender issues, I live with Ray and I can talk to Ray about some of those things. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to you, I think my relationship with you is very different. Mm-hmm. I think I get like more of the female like friendship stuff from you than just the transgender stuff from Ray, which we coincide on. Wanna be a baller, shot caller, 20-inch blades on the Impala, caller, get laid tonight. What do you think it is to be an ally? Like, what's your thoughts on being a good ally or being an ally for the LGBT or just the T part of the community?
So I know, like, sometimes, like, ally can be a very contentious word because different people have different definitions of what it means. So I know a lot of people say, from the community, say, like, an ally is someone who not just says they are, you know, sympathetic to your community, but also who is an activist and who also, you know, does a certain number of things, and who doesn't say some things and does say other things. And I think that is probably why a lot of people shy away from calling themselves an ally. I know I have in the past for that reason. in this situation, I think ally has just meant being a supportive friend, and helping you through, struggles specific to the T and LGBT.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of unfortunate that the definition of ally can, make people, a little scared to call themselves that. But then again, I understand, like, that there's, difficulties in having someone, who says they're an ally and then is maybe ignorant on some fronts, or just isn't, the full ally that they say themselves to be. So maybe there could be a couple different words for it, maybe like what level of ally you are, because there should be a way where you're able to express that you want to be a helpful, supportive person in this capacity, but that also there's a lot of stuff that comes with it that I think can be really hard for some people to come out as allies, because people can be critical if they don't think you're doing everything that an ally should do.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's understandable, and I think like it really depends on who you're dealing with in a one-to-one capacity,
Yeah.
of what they think, of what they need in that moment, because ally is really like a political stance that you're kind of taking. So I think, I don't know, there's a way to be a supportive friend without with maybe being an ally to your friends versus being an ally outward politically.
Yeah. I personally feel like, to me, it's just, the being a friend part is, I think, the most important part of being an ally, because I feel like that's kind of what some people need in that situation. I know for me personally, like, that's kind of what an ally is, because, I mean, if you're really a true friend, you're not judging, you're not, like, doing that kind of stuff anyway. It's, to me, like, obviously, I feel like, you can tell me, obviously, but I feel like I am not too critical of you. I feel like I try to, like, just be friends. Like, we're friends, we're close friends. Like, that's it. Like,
yeah.
Like, I feel like that's the most important part of being an ally.
Nice.
What do you think was challenging about, like, not just me in general, I guess, but like with Ray too? Like, what has been found? Like, I know obviously you didn't know me that well,
yeah,
but you've known Ray all your life. What do you feel is more challenging about that?
To be completely honest, it's just making sure, like, in my brain, I'm like, oh, not calling you by your old name.
Yeah.
No, not you. Mostly it was
Yeah.
Ray.
Yeah.
But just, it's remembering, okay, like, pronouns have changed, names have changed, and it's especially, like, I remember when, Ray was going through this before, and I had thought about changing his names. A lot of it was like, oh, do you want me to change? Like, I can, definitely, if that's what you prefer. It's just hard when I've known you my whole life as, one way to refer to you. It's, I'm changing that. It's just like a mental, like, change that it's kind of hard to do. But of course, like, I'd love to support you in ways I can. For you, I mean, I think I just kind of said it already. It's just figuring out the best way to support you in a way that's going to be helpful. But also, like, not be like a textbook and just be like a friend. Not be like, and I think, this is the proper thing to say in this situation.
Yeah.
You have to be like
I think that's
individual
important.
and all that. So.
I think that's important. So
we've got a list.
I know.
Preparation.
They can't see that.
Oh, I mean, these are all completely off the fly and natural questions in this conversation.
Okay. Well, I think this has been fun.
Mm-hmm.
I will see you all next week as per usual. Mm-hmm. And next week we will go over how court went and my name change.
Oh my God,
and
who's
birth
suing
certificate.
you?
Nobody's suing. Yes, they're
sued.
suing.
What did you do? God.
Too many things. Too many people.
Did you go to jail? Was the court date? Did you murder someone? I don't know if I can be friends with you if you murdered someone.
You can't stop being friends with me. You know it. But I will let you know how the name change goes, and if everything goes swimmingly, which I hope it will. I will also inform you I will probably get my birth certificate changed on Friday, which is big too. But yeah, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. I'll tweet the name here
God,
again.
you're doing the YouTuber thing.
Tweet.
It's down below in the description.
Yeah, there's comments down below.
Make sure to like and subscribe.
Yes.
And follow me on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter.
I don't have an Instagram.
And Vine and Snapchat and...
Okay.
You're welcome. I'm just doing promotion for you. I'm your marketing
assistant. Do you see why
assistant.
I love her and she's like my bestie? Okay. I will see you guys all next week. Have a swell week. Bye.